Hi everybody, it's Diane with SewBatik, and today we're here to talk about t-shirts. I don't know about you, but I find sewing a t-shirt one of the easiest things that we can do to add garments to our closet. Let me tell you, I love sewing t-shirts. They are simple, they're basic, and I really love letting the fabric kind of do the styling for me most of the time. There are a lot of t-shirts that have amazing design elements like the one I'm wearing right now. This pattern actually is from Itch to Stitch Designs, and it is a different collar or a neckline than what you would see in what I would call just a traditional t-shirt. But it is the knit-knee top, and it is absolutely fun to make. So we can consider something that has a beautiful keyhole neckline a t-shirt. We can consider a traditional t-shirt. I think this is probably what everybody thinks about when they think about a t-shirt. And this top is a loose fitting, short sleeve, simple neckline t-shirt. And it's probably the very, very first t-shirt I made. And it is a pattern by Grainline Studios called Scout. And you can simply look at the line drawing on the front of the pattern and know that this is a basic t-shirt. And it fits most body styles and it fits most body sizes. And it is a beginner pattern as well. So this is basically what you would think of, I think, when you think of a t-shirt. We think about the white or gray or black t-shirts that we have in our closet that we just bought from some retail store somewhere, and realize that if you're a garment sewer, there is truly nothing more simple, I think, than making a t-shirt. So some of the other t-shirts that you will see on our website are a variation of the basic t-shirt. And one of those is the Lark pattern. And I'm going to talk to you about patterns as well as fabric and as well as just basic design elements that you can glean from all the various patterns that you might have in your pattern collection at home as well. So let me start with this one, the Grainline pattern that is the Lark Tee. Kind of expands on their Scout Tee, and it gives you so many options. The options become what collar or neckline do you like? What sleeve length are you looking for? And the garment length itself. So this is a very, very nice pattern to have in your arsenal. And the size ranging on this is from a bust of 32 to 44. And a hip from 35 to 47. And if you know how to grade your own patterns to fit your body measurements, then some of that stuff doesn't matter as long as it has the features to teach you how to change out the different necklines and sleeves. I want to show you a couple of garments that I made from the Lark Tee. The Lark Tee is kind of getting into fall right now. I have to say that I have made a lot of long sleeve knit tops with a basic round neck, and the neckline itself has a stand-up facing to it. Okay, and here's another version, and this is our Gardeniste Divine Autumn Fire fabric. So I'm getting all of these ready for our season that's about to hit here. The other top I've made from the Lark is a V-neck. And every now and again, I warn people to really know how low that V-neck is going to come on you personally. Our bust measurements and everything about us changes where that V-neck sits. So always make sure that you either make a mock-up or measure properly with the pattern pieces to know how it's going to fit you before you cut your fabric out. But that is the only difference between this top and the two that I just previously showed you. A similar pattern is McCall's, and I believe this is 6964. If you have this in your pattern collection, again, it has the various necklines, sleeve length, and gives you some fun options for mix and matching different fabrics. A lot of the patterns that we look at when we are at a fabric store or just glancing online, the images of the models really do give us ideas of how to use the pattern and how to, maybe for our own fabric that we have in our own closet. And one of those I'll talk about in a minute is this pattern, and it's the McCall 7600. That gave me a lot of idea on how to mix and match some of our jersey knit, but I'll get there in a moment. But the McCall's pattern here is very similar to the grain line pattern. So if you have one or the other, you're very close. This is a straight, it's a straighter. It doesn't have as many curves. This one has more curves to it and actually goes through the instructions on how to adjust it for you. But the garment that fell is a short sleeve version of the McCall's pattern. And as you can see, it is curvier. It definitely has a waist to it and a hip. I might have actually enhanced that a little bit to fit me. And then here is a 3/4 length, which is my favorite length for any t-shirt. Okay, the other, I want to show you another idea for you quilters who might be also sewers, but I come from a quilting world as well. And so what I did with these two garments, both of the patterns both of these garments, I used the Lark Tee pattern in order to cut and sew them out. But what I did ahead of time is I created my own base fabric. I pieced together, using a tumbler template, various jersey knit that I had in my stash, added a couple of stripes to it and more tumblers at the bottom. I just made the fabric, I sewed together the fabric to be the size of the front of my pattern piece. And I did that with this one as well. Only this one, I also constructed enough fabric for each sleeve. And then the back of the garment is simply one piece of fabric. So there are so many things we can do with our fabric and reusing a pattern over and over and over again. The next garment I want to show you is, again, I would say it's a variation of the neckline, but I made, and this is the square neck top by Friday Pattern Company, and this one is your basic t-shirt. However, it does not have a sleeve. So it is a dolman, or yeah, I guess you would call that a dolman sleeve. And then the neckline is a square neck, which was really fun to make and to learn how to construct, to be honest with you. A lot of the reasons why I buy various patterns is to help me understand how to construct one myself. And I guess if you're a self-taught seamstress, that's probably the easiest way to do it. And this one is from our woven rayon. And this version is our Violetta Ivy fabric, and this is a jersey knit. So that pattern, the square neck top, if you like both a woven and a knit, it is wonderful because it has separate pattern pieces for each fabric cloth. The sizes are a little bit different because if you have a knit, there's going to be some stretch. And if you have a woven, there will not be any stretch. So that pattern is very detailed and has a lot of options for you. The next garment I want to show you, actually I'm going to not do that one right now. I want to move back here because I want to stay on the concept of the variations of a traditional front, sleeve, and neckline being your t-shirt. The next one I want to show you is the McCall's 6963. And this one I love because it taught me how to make a cowl neck. And I probably could have figured all that out and watched a YouTube video or gone to my sewing books and realized how to make a cowl neck. But it really is wonderful. And it gives me also all the sleeveless, short sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve, and long sleeve options as well. And so what I did with this one is, and I always have to make things one a woven, one a knit, and do my adjustments on those. So I made a jersey knit version out of our Spray Lake, and this is 3/4 length. And the cowl neck of this one is very neat, just simply because I just serged the edge of the fabric, and you need a little bit more fabric for it simply because of the amount of fabric you need to create the cowl and the drape going towards the front of your garment. Okay, and then the back is just a standard facing that is sewn to the back of the pattern piece. So this is our jersey knit, and I absolutely love it. And it has a shape to it. There is a curve, so it distinctly shows your waist as well as your hips. And I also made a rayon version. This is our Phoenix motif in the color Forget Me Not, and with the same level of drape to it. I'm going to pull this out so you can see that it does use a lot of fabric to create that cowl neck. And I just, again, serged the edge because it's going to be inside. I just want a finished edge. You never see the drape or the inside of the drape. So 3/4 length and a beautiful shape to it. The next top I do want to show you is one that I bought purely for the pattern cover because it also gave me another idea. The idea was, how do I use more than one fabric, or isn't it fun to use more than one fabric for a t-shirt? It might be a little bit more sewing work because I have to sew a couple seams together, but this top here is from the McCall's 7600 pattern, which has so many fun options, and it is simply pieced together, side seams sewn up with a traditional inset sleeve and a facing that is on the outside of this neckline. So I made it a coordinating fabric instead of it being exactly the same, so you couldn't see the distinct neckline to it. And this I made really, really long, and it has the side slits, and it just is really fun to throw on. It almost becomes a tunic length, but I still consider it a t-shirt. I think I'll set that one here. Okay, now the last basic t-shirt I want to show you, and this one again kind of stretches my definition of a t-shirt, but it is a tee. It is the Simple Elegant Tee, and I've done a lot of videoing and a lot of education on this particular t-shirt, but it is one I've also made I don't know how many times. It is a one-piece pattern. There is no sleeve, inset sleeve, no sewn sleeve, even though there is a sleeve in the garment. So it's a dolman style. There's no shoulder seam, and there's no sleeve seam. It's just a simple neckline facing, and you have the option of putting side slits or no side slit. This is written for a woven, and so I have made this out of a woven so many times. But then I had friends who said, Can you make this out of a jersey knit? I really love the feel and the texture of the jersey knit, and it really fit her, if I could put it this way, but her temperature much better than the rayon or a woven. And so we did make this out of our jersey knit, and I used a hand-dyed bright purple fabric, and it turned out beautifully. It's so simple to work with when you're working with the jersey knit. And so one side of this top, I did a side slit, and one side is not. And check out our YouTube video on how to make your jersey knit simple elegant tee with and without a seam. Because if you only have a yard or a yard and a half of fabric, you can also make the simple elegant tee out of that, your 72-inch wide jersey knit. Now, knowing again that I like to do a lot of piecing and a lot of fun projects, I used the simple elegant tee pattern as my base pattern to make a pieced top. So this top is the simple elegant tee, but what I did ahead of time is I used one of our rayon remnant packs that you'll see on our website, and I tore them a little bit narrower, the strips a little bit narrower, sewed them together, allowed enough space at my shoulder to not have a seam up here, and then cut out my fabric, and I pieced it together following the instructions that are in the simple elegant tee pattern. And this is the lake version, and then I also, for fall, made one out of our brown bark variation as well. And this one I used a store-bought bias tape in order to finish that off. Okay, those are a whole bunch of fun t-shirts, and there are a couple that I really want to show you that, I don't know if they go beyond what a definition of a true t-shirt is, or I guess what people think about it is, but the top that I'm wearing right now is the Knit-Me top, and it is by Itch to Stitch. She has her patterns available on her website as a downloadable PDF. And so you have the option of taping the pattern pieces together and then tracing them onto tracing paper for yourself, or you can send them out to a print house and have them printed on all one big piece of paper like you normally would get if you purchased a separate pattern anywhere else. So you always have that option, but we have links on our website to this top as well. We're an affiliate with them, and so I just love promoting her patterns because they're so fun and they're neat, and they have everything is so well written, and her patterns range in size from a 0 to a 40, and so they hit every body measurement. And I just think it's a wonderful pattern company. She does an amazing job. And so this is what I would call a t-shirt. I made it out of our woven batik rayon, short sleeve, and it has the lovely detail at the neckline here. And you have the option of the keyhole. You don't have to put the keyhole in it. Another one of her patterns that I really, really love, and the detail she put on this wasn't at the neckline or here, it was in the sleeve. And I probably should have this on in order for you to see it. But you can definitely see this as one of our fashion duos. But she has pleats in the shoulder of the sleeve. And then the front and back piece right here is narrower. And so that the pleats stand up a little bit and have emphasis on your shoulder. It's really, really a fun way to accent not the collar area, but your sleeve. You can make changes to any portion of your garment. And I like this one too because it has a wider facing at the neckline as well, and everything tucks in beautifully, and it's just a beautiful shape. And again, this one, I don't even know if I said what this one was, but it is Seychelles is the name of this pattern. I hope I pronounced that right. And two more. I have two more that I want to show you. One of them kind of stretches the t-shirt concept a little bit, and it's our Quick Sew 3161. But it is what I define as a t-shirt, which is a front and a back and a sleeve and basic. So this one we pull on over your head, and the detail of this particular top is again the neckline, which is an open slit in the neckline. And I simply put a button closure and made a little bit of a, what would you call that? A clasp out of my serger thread and attach that inside the seam. And then the arm has open slits, just adds a little bit of detail to a simple t-shirt top. And again, that's the Quick Sew 3161. And then last but not least is a knit top that has a lot of detail on it. And it has a lot of options to it, but it's a t-shirt. It's a pull over your head t-shirt. And I really love this pattern designer. You've seen us work with them a lot. And they are the ladies at Fit for Art Patterns. And this particular pattern is their Tabula Rasa knit tee and tunic pattern. And what they do is they have what they call a core pattern. And the pattern is, if you think about the front, the back, and then the basics of the sleeve, that's your core pattern. Then they offer packs of patterns, which are the variations, to add enhancing features to the garment. Can be the amazing cuff on this sleeve, this crossover neckline. It can be offset neckline. It can be one that is open going down. It can be round. It can be whatever. But their variations are added to the core pattern piece, and you end up with an unending amount of variations, thus the name, to their pattern. And it just turns out beautifully. They have a wonderful way to create what they call a square armhole underneath, and it adds a lot to this garment. So instead of a traditional side seam, they have what they call a, I hope I'm saying this right, but a square armhole. And it's a neat way to look at garment construction and fit as well. They are, that's the name of their company, Fit for Art. They're all about garment fit. And it is well worth a visit to their website to see what they offer as a jacket, as a tee and tunic, pants, whatever it happens to be. So you can take your basic tee and do so many things with it. And so today, I think I brought you a lot of garments that are various styles of t-shirts. And find, I guess, I don't know, maybe you have all of these in your arsenal of patterns at home, or are looking at another one to add, or just want to learn how to do, as I said, like the cowl neck. You need a pattern to trace and to figure that out, and don't want to, do it on your own. Then definitely add some of these to your collection of patterns and design options. And then find the fabric that works for you to make a new outfit for the remaining portion of this summer or this fall and winter. But woven is wonderful for any t-shirt that you slip on. Again, know that it does not stretch. So having something that maybe fits across your shoulders and then is very loose fitting, like the top I'm wearing, is wonderful for a woven. And then anything at all that stretches for your jersey knit, and probably a little bit more form-fitting at the waist and through the hip. So I don't know. I hope you enjoy this segment on t-shirts and all the things that we have available on our website. And I'm always trying to find new ideas and new ways to share skills. And if it happens to be with a basic t-shirt, then that's an easy way to do that. And so look at our fashion duos, where we give you a pattern, fabric, and notions all for one price. And it's discounted because you're getting it all together. Or look at our jersey knit or our rayon if you already have the patterns at home and just are looking for something new for the summer, or rayon remnant packs and strip sets. We also have the jersey knit strip sets to make your pieced jersey knit tops as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and show us some of the garments that you've made and some of the t-shirts you've made, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks.